Hello and welcome. I want to start by saying that I'm making this video for me rather than it being something intended to be particularly useful to you. I mean, it might be if you're thinking about buying a Kemper or wondering what might happen if you ever need to get yours repaired, but oh my god, this was such a frustrating and powerless situation that I kind of need to get it off my chest. So thank you for being here and listening to me. So I'm on a gig, a venue in the north of England called Blackpool Ballroom. It's quite a big room, and we were really excited to play it. We've done the 5-hour drive to get there, the one-way systems, the load-in, sound check, all the rest of it. Everything's great, everything's fine. So leave everything on and go and chill in the dressing room. So we've got a few hours. Hour or so, tech comes and says, mate, your speaker is making a weird sound. I've had to turn it off. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I go down to the stage, turn it all back on, it's fine. And after a few minutes, this white noise starts. It's like kind of pull the power cable out of the speaker loud. It's much louder than the guitar signal. I'll spare you the troubleshooting saga that then took place, except to say that it's getting quite close to showtime. People are like buzzing around, like, when can we need to clear the stage? When can we? And the culprit is 100% the Kemper. It's chucking out this white noise, sort of intermittently, but even with no input connected. I've never seen anything like it. Turns out it's a hardware failure in the Kemper. So I get through the gig with a spare Helix Firebird or something, and it's all good. I get the Kemper home and contact Kemper and say, look, how do I go about getting a repair? I'm in the UK, I know you're in Germany. How does this happen? And then I get a reply, kind of generic, dear sir or madam reply, with a returns document and shipping instructions. So I've not got the information that I wanted, but basically I have to ship it to Germany. And they mention the shipping documents and like tariff codes and stuff like that. So I'm not really feeling confident in how I'm shipping this, like what happens at customs, how long it's going to take, etc. And the Kemper's been working actually since then. So I've been using it for sessions, and I procrastinate for a couple of weeks. Eventually I ship it. It cost me £35, so it's like $50. I've got to print out multiple copies of these customs forms and pro forma invoices, which oddly sort of show the Kemper as like having a value of €438. I don't know what that's about. Anyway, so I dig out the old box, package it up, ship it. Over the next couple of days, I get these emails in like German and English saying things like, UPS has received the information, need to submit your parcel for clearance. And we've contacted the receiver because commodity description information validation is required by sender importer before the release. Like, well, what does that mean exactly? So at this point, I'm getting phone calls, voicemails from UPS.
Hello, 45115074. I was dealing for the information for clearance inspection, and I just want to inform you that the shipment is on hold and need to clear to customs. So please call us back at our toll-free number.
The call quality is really poor, kind of what they're saying. They've got quite thick accents. There's like a latency on the phone line of like at least 2 seconds. So you talk, sorry, no, you're like talking, oh my God, it's a nightmare. UPS suck balls. A week later, finally it gets released for delivery to Kemper in Germany. Another week later, they've had a look at it and they want to replace the analog board, which plus labour and taxes is a cost of about €280. What's that, like $350, something like that? So at this point, I shipped it on the 15th of November and confirm and pay for the repair on the 1st of December, so 2 weeks. Done exactly as asked by Kemper with all the documentation and stuff. Like, I'm quite nervous about this shipping, so I've done things like just like they've asked. A couple of days later, it's repaired and they've shipped it. Happy days. Is this the end? No, it's fucking not. It gets to the UK, is held at customs again. Right. I get this from a UPS customs clearance advisor. We need more information from you in order to complete import customs formalities on a current shipment. I mean, like, what is an EORI number? So I contact Kemper to ask how I should reply to this. I mean, it's weird that I'm the one that's getting called, whether I'm the shipper or the receiver, but hey. So they reply a couple of days later. Kemper replies with all this information. So I give this to UPS by replying to the email I was sent exactly as requested. I then get all these calls and emails from UPS asking for the same information over and over again, like every day, again, like before. And what's happening is I reply to the email with the information they're asking for and hear nothing. Then I get a call the next morning, which often I'd miss because I was like working out or something. So I call them back, go through all these annoying automated menus that UPS has in place, eventually talk to somebody who would tell me I need to reply to an email that they're going to send me, and that's how it has to happen. So they send an email later in the day, and it's exactly the same as the one I replied to the day before. And this happens over and over again. Like I call and I'm like, it turns out that the person who's telling me today that she needs to send me an email so that I can reply to it, that's how it has to happen, sent me the fucking email yesterday, and I've already replied to her. Anyway, right then, I get an email saying there are unpaid import fees. You need to pay £120. What's that? $180, $200, something like that. So this is for VAT, which is kind of like a sales tax, but this is a repair, not a purchase. So it's wrong. Like, you don't pay VAT on repairs. It's now December the 14th, and I contact Kemper for help. Like, you'd think this would be at least partly their responsibility. So Hans, the customer services guy I've been speaking to, refers it to the service centre, who reply saying, oh, yeah, UPS emailed us over a week ago saying we've been unable to contact the consignee, me, and that the package will be returned to Germany or disposed of if they don't hear from me by December 17th. It's like 3 days' time. So they've held on to this message, not tried to contact me or resolve it with UPS, but okay, right. So Hans says, have you paid the fees? I'm like, no, why would I? They're wrong. He replies, UPS will not deliver any parcels that are due to the customs fees until these have been paid. And I'm like, the paperwork that you've sent with the parcel has led to this. Why would they charge VAT on a repair? The paperwork you've sent doesn't say it's a repair, it's just an invoice for 400 odd euros. So my complaint is about the paperwork that they provided, because that's why UPS have classified this as a purchase. And I'm like, can you see this from my perspective? Like, you're shipping this to me, it's your responsibility. Can you please contact UPS to help sort this out? He just says, in the repair agreement, you can find the following line, which basically says, it's all my responsibility. Oh man, at this point, I sort of lost it a little bit, started complaining, like I'm stressed. This item is really valuable to me. I need it back, like for work, but at the moment, I don't know if I'm ever going to see it again. Is it going to be destroyed? And also, I've just paid £300 to get it repaired. Like, I understand they can't override customs laws, but they've held on to a message from UPS saying that it might be disposed of in a few days if they don't get the info required. And it was only when I asked for help with it that this came to light. So they didn't provide the necessary information to UPS initially, like this EORI number and all the rest of it. They wouldn't contact UPS to try to resolve it for me either. So instead, there's this sort of edgy, well, your government, blah, 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 which sort of seems like a reference to the disaster of Brexit, as if I'm responsible for that and sort of should suck it up. UPS, though, what a shower of shit. Like, the website, the phone system, the people, I'm sorry to say, it's all awful, man. Just look at all these emails. So I'm completely powerless at this point. So I pay the £120 customs invoice to get back something that I already own. And it gets delivered a couple of days later. So it's taken a month. The total costs are £405, which is $550. So Kemper, I agree they can't do anything about customs and so on. And they actually did the repair in pretty good time, and they were quite reasonable in terms of replying to emails, if like a little bit arsey. UPS were shocking, and that's probably no surprise to many people. Like, their systems do not work properly. But the issue here for you is what's going to happen if I need to repair my Kemper? Like, I can tell you, they do go wrong. So what you have to do, unless you can find a local repairer who can get parts from Kemper, is ship it internationally at your own cost, at which point you're at the mercy of customs, and Kemper will not really help you, in my experience. And that's what was so disappointing for me. Like, I've evangelized Kemper and pushed people towards the Kemper for the 6 years that I've been using it, and I've been the reason people have bought one, because I've been such a fan of how they sound. I love telling people about it. But technology does go pear-shaped, and you might need to get your gear repaired. So this is a consideration, and in that kind of light, I think I'd have preferred a Helix or something. Like Line 6 being part of Yamaha, like there'll be a service centre in the UK or in your country, much easier to get it fixed, and it's a consideration. So disappointing. Anyway, am I the only one? Like, Kemper have to sort this out. They have to make it better. They must be shipping stuff to the UK every week. This can't be happening every time. If you're still with me, thank you for listening to me, for hearing me out. I know it's a bit of a whinge, but it's just not fair, you know? It's not right. Anyway, I'll be back with some more music, guitar, or recording related content very soon. Love you, bye.